the root of all desire, the engine of all destruction. Greed, a twisted desire that has infected humanity for centuries. Not because we need more, but because we're terrified of having less. Greed is the relentless hunger for wealth, power, and control. It is never satisfied. It always wants more. What starts as a survival instinct turns into a sickness of the soul. We weren't born monsters, but we were trained to become them. From childhood, we are taught, win, take, climb, own. No one ever says, be enough, be content, be fair. Society rewards those who grab the most, not those who give the most. Our culture glorifies billionaires, while millions starve in silence. The roots of greed, they grow deep in our minds, in our systems, in our fears. It comes from insecurity, from ego, from a world that screams, you are nothing unless you have everything. But what happens when we all want more than we need? We destroy ourselves, each other, the planet. Greed is not just a personal flaw, it is a global disease. And until we face it, name it, fight it, it will rule us all. This is the side of humanity they don't want you to see. Have you ever felt like, it's never enough? You got this, now you want that. You reached one goal, and suddenly, it's not enough anymore. That is greed. Greed isn't just about money, it's about a thirst that never ends. A desire that grows and grows until even you don't know what you're chasing anymore. Greed comes from many places. From biology, our survival instincts. Humans are wired to gather, to protect, to prepare. But that instinct, it can turn into obsession, into domination. Then comes the psychology. Greed grows from fear, fear of being poor, fear of being less, fear of being ignored. Sometimes people become greedy not because they're evil, but because deep down, they feel empty. And then there's the environment. Society tells us success means big houses, luxury cars, overflowing bank accounts. So we run, we chase, we try to be someone by having everything. And the system? It's a race. The faster you run, the more you gain. But what happens to the slow ones? They get crushed, forgotten. And in this race, ethics often get left behind. But here's the thing. Greed exhausts you. It drains you. You keep chasing a finish line that doesn't even exist. You keep feeling like you're never enough. And it's not just personal. Greed breaks societies. The rich get richer. The poor get silenced. Forests are destroyed. Oceans polluted. All in the name of profit. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can fight greed. Not by becoming poor, but by becoming content. Learn to appreciate what you have. Learn to say, this is enough. Learn to share. Because true happiness doesn't come from hoarding. It comes from balance. From knowing when to take and when to give. Remember, greed is fire. But gratitude is the water that puts it out. The world doesn't need more rich people. The world needs more wise people. Since the dawn of civilization, greed has always been the shadow behind humanity's greatest tragedies. From ancient empires to modern superpowers, from blood-soaked battlefields to quiet backroom deals that stole entire nations, it all comes down to one thing: greed. Greed in history isn't just a footnote. It's the fire that burned down civilizations, the poison that corrupted kings, the invisible hand that pulled the trigger behind every war, every conquest, every stolen land. Wars and conquests. When power becomes a hunger, look at the Roman Empire. They didn't expand for peace. They expanded for gold, for land, for control. They didn't bring glory, they brought ruin. The Crusades? Don't be fooled. They weren't just about religion. They were about politics, power, trade routes, and control over holy lands. Greed wears many masks, and righteous cause is its favorite disguise. Colonization, the sweet lie of civilization. European powers set sail across oceans. They said they brought light and progress, but what they really brought was exploitation. They stole gold, land, spices, and people, all in the name of order. They didn't civilize. They colonized. They pillaged. They ruled through rule. Economic and social inequality, the hidden empire of the rich. Throughout history, greed built walls between people. A tiny elite sat on thrones of gold, while billions were left to suffer, to starve, to serve. This isn't just inequality, it's engineered injustice. Systematic greed. But here's the truth. History isn't here to make us bitter. It's here to open our eyes. So we don't repeat the same greedy mistakes over and over again, because greed isn't just in the past. It's here, right now, in politics, in business, in the systems we live under every single day. Open your eyes, because history isn't just about kings and flags. It's about blood, greed, and control. They tell us wars were fought for freedom, for peace, for the good of the people. Lies. Most wars were fought for resources, power, and domination. They wanted gold, oil, spices, and land, and they didn't care who they crushed to get it. The Roman Empire? Expansion masked as glory. The Crusades? Faith used as a weapon for political gain. European colonizers? They brought religion in one hand and chains in the other. Don't be fooled. Colonization wasn't civilization. It was economic rape. They bled continents dry. Africa, Asia, the Americas. They divided the world like a pie, drew borders on maps like it meant nothing. And now, centuries later, we're still living with the chaos they left behind. Civil wars, poverty, cultural erasure, all in the name of empire. And the people, the real people, they were enslaved, silenced, erased. Families torn apart, languages lost, cultures buried. They say history is written by the victors. But guess what? Now it's our turn to speak. We don't tell these stories to spread hate. We tell them because truth is power. And if we stay silent, they'll do it all over again, just with newer flags and cleaner lies. Listen up. We can't just sit back and watch history's darkest moments get swept under the rug. Colonization wasn't civilization. It was theft. It was oppression. It was blood and greed disguised as progress. Exploitation of resources? They came, they saw, they took everything. Gold, spices, oil, land, lives. And what did they leave behind? Poverty, hunger, chaos. Culture, language, identity, erased, rewritten, replaced. They tried to kill entire ways of life just to feel superior. Labor? Don't call it development. It was slavery. It was forced labor. It was human suffering on an industrial scale. Borders? Artificial lines drawn by colonizers. Lines that still cause war, hate, and division today. Examples? You want examples? Here they are. Spain and Portugal wiped out entire civilizations in the Americas. Aztecs, Incas gone in the name of gold. Britain didn't develop India. They drained it for 200 years. The scramble for Africa? More like a blood-soaked land grab. No respect for borders, cultures, or lives. Just raw, brutal conquest. And my country? Indonesia? The Dutch came with the VOC, but they didn't bring progress. They brought chains. They looted our spices, forced our people into hard labor, and ruled with greed for centuries. And it's not over, bro. The consequences of colonization are still here. Health gaps, education gaps, a massive wealth divide between the powerful and the poor. In the feudal era, peasants lived under lords for scraps. During the Industrial Revolution, factory owners got rich while workers got sick and crushed. Apartheid turned racism into law. And today, billionaires own more than entire countries, while millions can't even eat. This isn't a broken system. It's a system built to keep things broken. So what now? Just accept it? Hell no! It's time to fight back, with knowledge, with unity, with justice. Education for all, healthcare as a right, economic systems that serve the many, not just the rich. We are not just victims of history. We are the generation that will rewrite it. No more silence, no more lies, no more colonial chains.
Yeah.